So it's taken a full 2 years of doing budget astrophotography with my Canon 450D, or XSI as you know it across the pond, to finally pluck up the courage and do a DIY Astromod on it. And I'm here to tell you, it's really not that scary. I was surprised, and it works way better than I expected it to. It has shocked me. And I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you, not only that, I'm going to go through step by step exactly how I did it in part 2 of this video, because I had to make it a two-parter. In this shorter part 1 video, we get all the cool stuff where I tell you about it and the ins and outs and what have you, and more importantly show you the pictures to show just how well it now works. And what was a good alternative to an Astrocam for those on a budget is now a fantastic alternative. Let's just take a moment to realize the value implication here. This camera, the 450D, is from 2008, and you can pick one up on any given week for €50 dollar pounds. So it's not much of an outlay, and you'll see for yourself shortly those results. I think you'll agree that represents fantastic value. So without further ado, let's take a look into it. I'm Nugsy, this is Cheapass-tro. Now, right up front, before I tell you anything about this, I want to make this abundantly clear. Disclaimer time. I am not responsible for this. I'm not encouraging you to do it. I'm not recommending you do it. I wouldn't recommend anyone do it. It's just something I've done myself, and many other people have done before me, and have done successfully. Some people, however, do fail, so this is done at your own risk. At the end of the day, you are modifying the internals of a camera. You will void any warranty you might have had, and you may ruin your camera. Some people who have even done this before have ruined cameras doing this. You may be unlucky. So you must know that if you take this job on, you are risking the value of your camera. In my case, about 50 quid. So it's a 50 quid gamble. It's just like buying a 50 quid raffle ticket. You may end up with nothing. In most cases, to look on the brighter side of things, people do this. They follow the instructions just as they're told, and it works. In my case, I was another example of this, in a long line of people who've done this over many years before me. So, you know, I'm just saying, I know that you lot, the people who watch my channel, you're alright, you know what you're doing. You've done a bit of DIY, you don't mind getting in there and doing these things. But we all know that some people just shouldn't be allowed near tools, you know, so there's your disclaimer. Take it on if you think you can do this. And that doesn't mean, by the way, that you need to know what you're doing in a camera. That means you can follow instructions and keep things tidy as you go. You should be okay if you can do that. Alright then, so very briefly, what is an Astromod? It is the removal of a color correction filter from the camera's internal sensor. There are two filters in there. One is IR UV cut, which cuts out the infrared and ultraviolet ends of the spectrum, which the human eyes can't see anyway. That's pretty standard. The second filter, LPF2, low pass frequency 2 filter, is very restrictive to reds. And they've done this to correct for daytime photography and make it look more natural, as the human eye would see things. But that filter is so restrictive in the red wavelengths that we see barely any of this HA or hydrogen alpha in our astrophotography images. Only maybe 15%, a few percent either side of that, comes through to the sensor, because it's effectively wearing sunglasses to the stuff. So that's what the mod actually is. An astrocam shooting a red HA target for about an hour will soak up a good image. But to get a similar level of red in a stock DSLR image, you're going to have to image maybe 5 or 6 times longer because of this filtration, which has me turning away from even trying hydrogen alpha targets, which is a shame, because my favourite target of all, the target I always wanted out of astrophotography, is the Horsehead Nebula. When I was first looking into astrophotography, that was the image I wanted to capture for myself, get printed and hang on my wall. And I've been hunting it for 2 years. This is my 3rd year of hunting. And we're going to get to the reveal picture real soon, but we're going to build up to it through my earlier attempts with a stock DSLR, and we'll see what a difference it makes. So to start with, I wasn't even using the scope, I was using camera lenses. I was trying the 75 to 300mm zoom lens on this one, and I was not getting much luck at all. The 135mm f2.8 camera lens I picked up for 20 quid, I think that did a little bit better. It's only when I switched to the scope I had any sort of luck with it. But my 8-inch scope is a bit too zoomed in for the whole target. This one's about 2 hours with the 8-inch scope on just the Horsehead. And you can see there's very little HA in it after 2 hours. I had another stab, but this time the Horsehead and Flame in landscape. And this one I was a little more pleased with, and it's the first time I'd actually captured what I wanted pretty much. But again, you can see there's not that much hydrogen alpha there, and this image is 3 hours and 40 minutes worth. Now if you've seen my latest video, you'll know I now have a 130 PDS as well, and I've been using that. I also have a coma corrector, and both these things have improved my image quality. But again, this first one, I took almost 2 hours of subs, but I actually only stacked the best 1 hour. And I did this with the 130 PDS and the unmodded DSLR. The final image I'm going to pop up here was done with the modded DSLR. And I'm going to do that in a way where it sort of lines up and fades through from the background. It's going to look brilliant. However, it was one of those nice dark nights. The moon had gone down and my target was high. So you'll see the overall image has improved. But what I want you to pay attention to here is the amount of hydrogen alpha, the HA detail, that it's now picked up in exactly the same time. Just 1 hour of integration. Here it comes. I now seriously feel that I don't need a big fancy pants camera. I'm quite happy to continue with this now. Now it does this, it can actually soak up HA. It's opened up half of the sky to me basically. All the stuff I was avoiding before I can now go for. That's just 1 hour of integration. And I tell you what, that image is the image I entered astrophotography to get. I feel like I've won astrophotography. I can pack up and go home. I need do it no longer. Of course I'm gonna do it more. I need more and more now. But you know, it's that big a game changer to me. That has just opened up the world of astrophotography. I feel now I can play with the big boys. Whereas I always felt I was lagging behind with the stock DSLR. So I personally think it's a risk worth taking, but it's only a risk worth taking if you can cover that risk. I myself waited until I had a replacement camera in hand, but the benefits of pulling it off, oh man, that's almost a 50 quid proper Astro cam now. Now this has just been a brief overview of how it's gone for me so far, but I am going to go over more stuff, more information in part 2, as it's a fairly long tutorial and I'll have time to talk about other things too. So do watch it, even if you're only considering the possibility of doing it, because you'll see what it's like from the perspective of someone like me doing it for the first time. I've never opened up a camera before, so see for yourself what it's like. Right, that's it, so thanks for watching. I've been Nugsy, this is Cheapass-tro. Subscribe and get more like this. I'll see you soon.